Okay, good afternoon. It's October the 14th, 2015. Time to wrap up another day. When we came in this morning, wanted to sell 2005. That was our sell. And our buy was 85 to 90. And then it falls down to 75 to 80. And I think we have a chance of going lower this afternoon. So you can see that our sell zone worked up here and our 85 to 90 worked all the way through here. Got us some good trades, and we talked through a V-bottom trade here, this V-top trade, talked through that, worked out pretty well. We talked through this trade right here, we're immediately stopped out, and we do this. We take trades that have nothing that is going for them other than a setup, and the flimsiest toughest trade set of all is a V-bottom or a V-top. I mean, who knows what it is. We've made new lows right here. I mean, who in the hell wants to get long till we retest that low and get a higher low over here? So these trades work, and this pretty much is where the low comes in. Big head and shoulders pattern. Many shoulders. Then the market finally takes up, and where does it stop? It stops at the value area high. And the reason I point this out is that we're talking about structure right here. And structure does play a very important role. And once you start tuning into structure, it can really make a big difference in your trading. Here's the low volume number based on a 30-day basis. If we take out this low volume number right here, we're going to get to this high volume number. That's the attractor. Unless there's a new piece of news. And we got to it. So you do know where the market's going before the fact, and you start putting all of this stuff together, then you got yourself a very robust way of framing the market and looking at it and taking your trades, and it gives you good risk reward, and you got great trade location if you're somewhat patient, and you can really make this happen. So let's take a look at the F1 screen on the E-mini and see what it's telling us. We do have news tomorrow, not as big as it was today, but we have CPI called -0.2, could come in lower. Actually, CPI drags. These numbers are probably pretty good. Core up 1/10. Jobless claims at its default at 270. Empire State Manufacturing Survey -7, Philly Fed -1, natural gas and crude inventories, and the Treasury budget at 95. So looking at the E-mini right here, lower high, lower low, like to sell into early strength to see if we can take this market lower. So the F1 screen has us a seller. Looking at the F2 screen, definitely B, and volume is below time right here. Time would be at 90.50 and volume is at 87.50. So this market is pointed lower, so looking for a place to sell it. So right off the bat, last rotate up, and K period stopped at 95, M period stops at 87.50, and we're at 83.50. So I'd like to sell the 95 area, but we're going to put a question mark at 87.50. Sell failure to take out 90 to 95. We'll put a question mark here at 87.50. And then 2005 for sell 2. And with the potential volatility that we have, you just have to give this market some room and then see what happens. On the buy side, 75 to 70, I think that's where we're headed. We talked about that this morning. Buy 1. We've got this low over here at 60. If we break that, 60 to 65, buy 2. So getting in Globex tonight might take a 87.50 to get off a short. Just depends on where we go. Okay, the financials are strong this morning. The news this morning fundamentally said that the financials treasury should rally, and they did. They gave up some of their strength, but didn't pull back all that much when the E-mini made its rally. E-mini starts to sell and they strengthen again. So on the F1 screen, higher low, higher high, third day of the rally. This market tells us to look for a place to buy it, see if we can't get through resistance, which right now you'd have to figure is at the 29.28, 130 even area. And I'll do an I split here. Second distribution higher. You can see how thin the volume gets once we get up to 130. So here we sit, selling failure to take out 18 to 24. Going to give it a little bit of room. Don't know what the E-mini is going to do this afternoon. I think it's going to sell. And then we're going to do 27s to 31s for sell 2. Globex could hold. On the buy side, 9 to 13, we'll pick up this new distribution right here. And then 1 to 5 for buy 2. Knob spread went out at 30. Big day. Big day. And you know, people say, oh, you can't make money in spreads. Go try the bean spreads and the energy spreads. I mean, they water your eyes. And this knob spread's not as volatile as those, but it can give you $500,000 days in a spread. And you know which side to trade from. If the news is bad, you buy it. If the news is good, you sell it, economically speaking. So here we are at 59.19, 160 up here. So the trade's going to be sell failure to take out 20 to 24. And then 31 to 03. On the buy side, got this breakout from 12, so 9 to 13 buy 1. May take a 17 to get in. A lot of it depends on what the E-mini is going to do, and then 1 to 5 for buy 2. And the economic news just continues to show economic slowing round the globe. And we already know what the solution is. Central banks are to come in and take over. They're going to be the insurer of last resort. They're going to print money. And as long as every central bank in the world is doing it, this whole thing can hold together. And so I think we're looking at, we could look at a generation, 25 years, Japan has, of stagnation. Why would we think we were any different? Gold, real strong. And we talked about structure, where the market was going to go today. We went all the way through it. I've talked about it several times today. But you do know where the market is going before the fact. And so F1 screen on gold says higher. And again, I just want to point out this low volume number here at 69. Once that came out, we were headed for 87.60. We just didn't know how long it was going to take to get there. And get there we did. So stops above 1200 is probably where we're headed next. But it's got to be a comforting thought that I can get, if this number comes out, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to get to that number. And that really can only help or aid your planning. So self-failure to take out 90, 92. Probably will have some profit taking before we get to 1200, so 98 to 1200 sell 2. After a day like this, if we don't extend the range in London, then you want to get short for a short-term trade. I've got this low volume at 83. We got all this volume in the 85 area, so stops below 85, 83 to 85 by 1. And then our 78 to 80 by 2, that level that we talked about today. And you can see how it held up very, very well. But we had this structure nailed coming in this morning, and again, that information has to be helpful. Or if it isn't now, make it part of your trader's toolkit over time. Okay, crude oil was lower today, but it did not break. And again, everybody, you're starting to see the longer term articles come out right now that the low isn't in crude oil, and you know, Syria doesn't really threaten the oil supply, and carnage or blood in the streets. But it usually takes 18 months, year and a half to 2 years for the crude oil market to bottom out, and December is 18 months from when the spill started. So we're getting pretty close to that. And with what's going on in the Middle East, I mean, all these missile tests, all the rest of it, you know, the Persian Gulf states are regularly talking to Pakistan about getting the bomb, and they got the money to get the bomb from Pakistan. And Pakistan is a Sunni-based Muslim country, and the motherland is Saudi Arabia, so it's hard for them to say no. So here's crude oil. So maybe a new move out of the middle. We've got resistance at 47, 47.50, so we'll put our first sell at 75, 47, sell 1. Then stops above 50, so I'm going to make 50, 75, sell 2. On the buy side, 46, 46 and a quarter, where it was today, and then 45 and a quarter, 45.50. And with the devaluation of the yuan yesterday, we're close enough to 115 on the euro that I think we're headed for stops above 115. Pretty strong profile today. And again, the key will come in London, and those of you in London time will be able to take advantage of that. But higher low, higher high, and just get this low volume area in this 115 even, 115.25 area. And we jump up to basically 116, and then 117 plus after that. And China's devaluations are helping speed this along. China is going to do everything in their power. It's a country that's built on mercantilist policies. Export everything they can at any cost to somebody else. Take advantage of any country. Currency-wise, maintain your competitive edge through your currencies. And if you've ever done business with China, lie like hell to get the signed contract and then deliver what you can. But that's where they come from. And they operate in their own self-interest. And they've got if you think you've got, or America, that's accused of having the world's biggest egos, has a big ego. China's every bit as equal as ours. So they've got a lot of work to do to shore up that economy. It's really it's a perfect example of central state planning, and the best and the brightest getting control of the checkbook. Okay, 115 even, that is a round number. If we get through that, then we've been getting up to the 25 to 35 area, so the second area will be 25 to 35 for sell 2. I think we're going to go higher. 1450 by 1. And the breakout came from 65, so we'll put a question mark at 75 early. They open it soft in London. I'd buy into that first break to see if they could take out our day session high, and then 14 and a quarter by 2. So basically selling failure to take out 115 even, plus or minus. That's it for October the 14th, 2015. Y'all have a great evening. I will talk to you bright and early in the morning. Technical gremlins notwithstanding. We've had fun, and we'll pick it up bright and early in the morning. Y'all have a great evening.